Hello and welcome everyone to the second episode of the Lord's Shogunate. In the last episode we started with a decisive battle against our rivals the Shoni. The morale of my men almost cost me the battle if it wasn't for the intervention of Yoshiaki, my daimyo, and his accompanying general. Yoshiaki wasn't all too pleased with this, but he knows his people haven't been to war in their lifetime, and the battle was won anyway. We then continued our campaign against the Shoni besieging Tsukushi, the province where our first battle took place. The garrison was weak, so I was able to just auto-resolve them and we barely took any casualties. We then continued the push to the final Shoni stronghold, where upon further inspection, I decided not to assault it in the same turn, instead waiting for them to come to me, and sure enough they did. And on the fields outside the castle, the final Shoni family members are slain, and the province is ours. Rather than just wipe out the clan, Yoshiaki decides to allow another wealthy family to take up the name Shoni and serve as his vassal, which appears to be very useful as they show their gratitude by giving us some spearmen. The last thing we hear is that the Shimazu and Sagara have declared war on us, and Yoshihige, the heir, is trapped at Bungo by a Shimazu army. Without further ado, let's continue. Okay, so I want the matchlocks here, on this wall. Half of the archers with them. One detachment of archers will man the walls here, at the back, and—
My lord, the Shimazu are here. They're advancing on the castle.
Damn them! Our scouts were wrong. We should have had at least another 2 hours.
They aren't forming up, my lord. They're coming straight for us. We don't have much time.
Alright. Men of Clan Otomo, the Lord is with us this day. May his fury smite these heathen bastards and may his presence protect us. You all know your posts. We've got a battle to win. Welcome everybody to episode 2 of the Lord's Shogunate. This is the defense of Bungo under the command of Yoshiaki, the heir. Here he is, with his bodyguard looking as dapper as possible. He's grown up quite a bit, as you can see. That's quite a mature face for someone who just came of age. But anyway, you can see that the Shimazu have set up all of their forces on this side of the castle, with one unit of archers over here. So Yoshihige, knowing the scout reports, knows that the majority of the force came from this way, and a little tiny force came this way. So he deployed much of his skirmishers, that being a detachment of bows and 2 detachments of matchlocks to the front, and this one detachment rather of archers in the back. So they're going to begin skirmishing with these archers that are trying to flank around. They get the first shots off, taking down a couple of Shimazu bowmen. This actually starts off quite badly. But sure enough, as the Otomo defenders range in their shots on the Shimazu, they start dropping a bit faster. I move Yoshiaki out of the way as he starts taking Yoshihige out of the way as he starts taking fire. But eventually I do charge him out to kill those archers, as I notice that they're taking too long to kill, and my men, these men are needed on the front to defend against the incoming enemies. So you can see he starts charging out, and the Otomo have started the Shimazu rather, have started their assault. The matchlocks open fire, slaughtering the Shimazu katana samurai incoming. And you can see the Yoshihige has moved his bodyguard out of the fort, and they're about to clash with the archers. You can see they get a wonderful charge in and kill most of them on impact. But back to the front, you can see that swathes of katana samurai, yari samurai are just being cut down by the concentrated bow and matchlock fire from my men. Nearly a third of the combined total of the Shimazu katana samurai are absolutely destroyed. I've set my Yari Ashigaru up in spear wall in anticipation of the enemies coming in, and this is where I begin running my bows and my imported matchlock Ashigaru behind them. This unit of bows I actually get up over here, as none of the enemies are climbing up on this side, so I can safely keep my bows here to rain fire down on these climbing enemies, which is excellent. You can also see I move up my samurai retainers to get up here. Yoshihige has come back into the fort after killing all those archers. You can see his handiwork here. They've killed basically all of them. Only 29 survived. But you can see the enemy have managed to get up to the top. They slaughtered this poor matchlock Ashigaru down here, who sadly wasn't with the rest of his unit. I left this unit here in anticipation of the enemy general coming up, and I've also moved these bow Ashigaru to rain down fire on the enemy generals as they approach the castle. I start moving my 2 of my Yari walls up so that they kind of block the enemy from attacking these bows. So they can continue firing at the archers right now, but they also take a few shots at the men climbing up, which is excellent. So I had my men here on fire by rank, but I noticed that they were just getting cut down by the enemy archers as they were being targeted. So I decided to move them around a little bit. They they tend to walk into the enemy, the enemy here, and a few of them die, which kind of sucks, but nothing too bad. I then form them up here, or I attempt to. They got caught in the combat again. I try to form them up so that they take a few shots into this little gap here, and they do. They do. I charge in my samurai retainers at this point. I noticed that a lot of my Ashigaru were dying, so I throw them in there. I inspire everybody with Yoshihige, and I also I rally rather, and I inspire the samurai retainers with him. So these men took a few shots into the combat, which actually caused these units to break and start wavering, which is excellent. This entire flank of the enemy is basically dead. This unit's wavering. These were wavering, but they came back. It's okay, they did too. But basically, this side of the battle goes quite poorly. The enemy generals are charging in. They take fire from my matchlocks and my bows. Although the bows not getting many kills, the matchlocks do hit their mark, and many of the enemy bodyguard are killed. And on the approach of coming up to the castle, many more of them die. You can see the rapid fire of the matchlocks coming out of the gate, just cutting down these men. Very quickly, they've lost almost a third. We've finished up on this side of the castle. We now are beginning to flank over here just in time, as well as these Yari Ashigaru were wiped out. There's only one man left, and I do end up losing that unit. But these men are wavering, and there you go. You can hear the announcer saying that unit was destroyed. But these men are broken. The battle is over for them, and the enemy generals are just starting to get up over the walls as they start wavering. And that's where we actually break them. This unit has broken as they climb up, but since they were already starting their climbing animation, they get absolutely cut down, and they are wiped out. I actually believe that all of the enemy general's bodyguard die, and you can see that many of them are being just absolutely butchered here by my men. Even the lowest of Ashigaru are slaying these powerful samurai as they try to flee, knowing that their lords have died. Here's one of the generals. You can see. Oh, actually, nope. That is just a bodyguard. It's just his little. Oh, jeez, what are those called? The little arrow catcher things are stuck in the ground. But yeah, there we go. It is a 1 victory here at Bungo. The Shimazu forces have been crushed.
My lord, a message for you. From Yoshihige? Tell me, is it from my son? Yes, my lord. Give it here. Father, I'm writing you to inform you the Shimazu dogs have been driven from Boongo. We collected the heads of the fallen, and have come to the conclusion that their leader, heir, and a high-ranking general were slain in the attack. Also, countless numbers of their samurai were killed as well. The battle couldn't have been won without the Nanban weapons you've trained the Ashigaru with. They punched through the toughest of armor, and I believe I heard one of the peasants raving on about how he shot down one of the Shimazu commanders. I must get back to replacing the men lost in the battle. I hope to see you again soon, father. Yoshihige. That's my boy. Captain, ready the men. We may have defeated one enemy, but the Sagara still block us from going home. We ride west. We ride to kill them all.
So Yoshihige is victorious in the defense of Bungo against the Shimazu. Here you can see the stats. They did pretty good. These those imported matchlocks did the majority of the killing. They killed a lot of those samurai before they even got close to the walls, which was amazing. So they, of course, retreat, and we go through with the rest of the turn. The Sagara moved their force towards Bungo, which was quite worrying, but they actually left their province undefended. So Yoshiaki is actually able to come in, take it with an auto-resolve, and their forces are disbanded. So that entire army that they spent the whole campaign building just disappears, which is awesome. So we decide to peacefully occupy it, of course, and we actually got imperial recognition, which is not great. We haven't conquered all of Kyushu yet, and we're already recognized by the emperor. We also got superior war horses from that province, which was excellent. Next turn, I go ahead and move my ninja down towards the last Shimazu provinces, rather. And we go ahead and start getting Kobayakawa down here. because I'm sending Yoshiaki home to meet up with Yoshihige after his victory. You can see the Shoni have sent a army down towards the Shimazu lands. That's awesome that they're actually helping out. And now you can see that I'm putting together an army for Kobayakawa, and that is actually to send it back east. Now, Yoshiaki and Yoshihige are taking their army out to finish off these last Shimazu, who have no leadership, so they're not really sure what they should be doing. They just decided to sit across the river from Bungo, but we put them to the sword. They're dead. Everything's good. We then move Yoshiaki and Yoshihige down even further to the border of Bungo province. And yeah, we then, the next turn we succeed in our mission to build the Nanban quarter, so we get a free unit of Tersos, which is excellent. And they can be seen right there. I just decided to put them in Bungo. I'm not going to take up Yoshiaki's movement by putting them in there. So we actually besiege this settlement, and I just auto-resolve it. It's just a unit of retainers, no problem. We managed to take it without losing any men. And of course we peacefully occupied, and Yoshiaki levels up, which is wonderful. So we take the province, and we go ahead and repair the castle and destroy that Yari dojo that was there, because it's not very useful. The turn after, I go ahead and assassinate one of the generals in the Shimazu army. Actually, this may be the same turn. Yes, it is the same turn. But I assassinated that guy. So now I'm moving Kobayakawa back east, and I just continue moving him through these few turns, because not much is going on. As we are getting our public order settled away in this province, I also go ahead and build a chapel and rank up the castle, or not rank up, but upgrade the castle so that we can build a market here later. I'm just looking at the public order and the Christianity, the level of Christianity here, so I decided to build a chapel and of course upgrade the castle like I said. Here you can see I'm getting some trade agreements with some clans. We have the Harakiyama, and we go for the Matsuda as well. But first we go for the Chosokabe, excuse me. We get trade with them, which is excellent. And I believe we finish it off with the Matsuda, but I may be incorrect. We may just finish it off with the Chosokabe. Yes. No, we get trade with the Shoni. That's what it was. Alright. So then you can see now I have the money. I start recruiting some non-bound trade ships, which are excellent. These big ships with lots of cannons and lots of guns. And I was going to get some Tersos, but I realized I need the powder maker, so we needed to save some money to upgrade that castle. I then go ahead and get a missionary in our new province, so that he can help spread Christianity and keep the people happy, of course, because we need to move Yoshiaki and Yoshihige as soon as possible to finish off the Shimazu, rather. So I start sending down one of the missionaries. He's just there to cause havoc, and Kobayakawa has finally reached Buzen once again, where he's going to reconsolidate all of his forces and then set an invasion for the mainland. And you can see here, I go to incite a revolt in the Shimazu lands, and it is successful, which is excellent. And here we encounter the last Shimazu general. I thought I was going to attack him, but I figured that would be a bad idea if I had to attack him. So I actually retreat and allow him to come to me, and that's exactly what he does. And we have a wonderful battle. So we'll get right to the battlefield and show these Shimazu dogs what's up.
My lord Togetsugu, the Otomo army is in sight. They've encamped down the road.
Get all the men ready. We march for them immediately.
My lord, don't you think it would be wise to wait for them to march to us?
Do you wish to lose your head, Captain? You are not in a position to give advice. Those bastards killed the Shimazu noble family. Besides, they field an army of peasants. Ha! We'll see how they match up to our samurai.
So this overzealous and less than experienced commander of the Shimazu has fallen right into my trap. He has foolishly charged his army towards my encamped position, although, well, encampment doesn't really matter much in Shogun, as it doesn't really reflect on the actual battle. But instead of waiting for me to actually attack them, they have foolishly charged me. This gives me a position to hold a Yari wall and also to fire with my Otomo matchlocks, and you can see they start firing now. And they wreak havoc on the approaching Katana Samurai and Yari Samurai. Now this is a very hard fight, as the entire army other than these Bow Ashigaru are all Samurai. And there's quite a few. There's 3 units of Katana Samurai, and that's Shimazu Katana Samurai to make it all worse. And then 4 units, I believe. No, it seems 6 actually. 6 units of Yari Samurai. I do outnumber them. In the front lines, I outnumber them, so I'm able to flank around with 2 of my Yari units. But my morale is weak, and these men are actually shaken, and soon enough my men start wavering in certain spots. But not before we actually kill many of the enemy samurai, and they actually start wavering themselves. You can see that this was actually supposed to be not in my favor at all, so this was a risk to fight. But eventually the morale of my men is enough to overcome them. You can see I actually got flanked here. This unit actually went all the way around here and flanked around, which I didn't notice at that time. But you can see my men are holding decently. We've managed to break and now are wavering a unit of Yari Samurai here. And these Katana Samurai here are wavering as well. I think my matchlocks are getting random shots in here and there through the gaps. Yes, you can see there they do some serious damage. And now I have them firing on the enemy general, and so are my archers. So we do some serious damage to this guy's unit. There he is there. He's probably soiling himself now after this decision. He's like, oh no, what have I done? Oh jeez. Yeah, you can see there he actually died. So good job, Shimazu General. So now this is where I get my Yoshihige to charge the enemy archers. He gloriously leads his bodyguard into them. You can see he's the first into the fight, and he takes out some archers himself. And we've broken all the enemy infantry, and now we're just chasing them down. So although it was apparently a close victory, we defeated an entire army of samurai. That's a decisive victory in my book, of course. But, you know, the game mechanics, it takes into account individuals lost, rather, not the skill or importance of any people lost. So, whatever, we take it. But you can see that the Shoni have taken one of the Shimazu provinces, and the last was actually taken by rebels from my revolt. So, the Shimazu have actually been destroyed. And yeah, we go ahead and try to sabotage the garrison. And that works, which is excellent. Although it might not do much in Shogun. It only kills a few men, I believe. We also demoralize them. And our missionary ranks up, which is excellent. So then in the next turn, of course, Yoshiaki attacks. And it's an easy enough fight. He's able to just auto-resolve and kill the garrison inside. These lowly... Well, actually, I would assume they'd be Christians, but... who knows? Maybe it's Shinto Buddhists rising up against... I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, we repaired the castle and tore down the Yari drill yard. We're also sending out some Tersos and some Yari Ashigaru to Buzen, which is all excellent. Yoshiaki and a few men, and Yoshihige rather, start marching back up to Bungo and Buzen. And the next turn, Yoshihige gets a wife, which is excellent, a cunning wife, so he has less of a chance to get assassinated, which is excellent. And we also get a new general who is eager to serve. Lots of good things happening recently. Now, Kobayakawa has waited long enough. His army is ready to march into the mainland, and so he does. And also, our port's blockaded in the next turn, which is not good. But Kobayakawa is ready to fight, and he's so eager to capture that province that him and his cavalry ride ahead of the rest of the army and personally take the settlement, which is quite impressive. But about that blockaded port, we break off a small detachment from our fleet that's protecting the strait to go attack them. And this is where the episode is going to end, so be sure to tune in next time as the Otomo get to test out their new guns on the weaker Ouchie Fleet. I'll see you then. It did not take long for the name Otomo to be spread across Japan. Of course, after their self-proclaimed rule over the entirety of Kyushu, everyone was taken by surprise how Yoshiaki was able to wipe out 3 clans in just 6 years, and establish himself as Lord of Kyushu. The other clans are worried. What seemed like a peaceful clan has turned out to be a huge force to be reckoned with. And the Emperor is infuriated. He has heard of Yoshiaki's plans should he overthrow the shogunate, and those plans don't involve keeping him in power. Thank you so much for watching. There will be lots more action as the Otomo continue their push into the mainland in the next episode of The Lord Shogunate.